Okay, I'm so stinking excited right now. We're like have like this lucky privilege of having Amanda or Miranda on here. I wanted to say Amanda. Miranda on here. I've just been getting to know her over these past few weeks. We got into like a group chat and we're all pushing for presidential, and she actually hit presidential diamond last month, which is the second highest rank in the entire company. And girl, I just am so excited to really hear your story. I know bits and pieces of it, and it's so inspiring. I know you started from basically nothing. So I'm just going to throw it on over to you. Again, thank you so much for hopping on here and doing this for my team, and I cannot wait to hear your story. So how did you get started with It Works? How did you hear about it? Let's start at the beginning real quick.
Okay, well, thank you guys for having me. I know that it's usually your guys' thing. So, man, like I definitely have not had an easy button, that is for sure. I always joke that I should write it like a book or something because my life is just nuts. So I'm from a super, super small town of 3,000. And then I moved to the big city right after high school, where I don't know anybody, and then just kind of went from there. So 3 years ago, it was pretty much like my rock bottom. So I had just lost my mom to cancer. I don't have very many family members, and I was like a total mama's girl. So it was devastating, to say the least. I was also 8.5 months pregnant. So to say the least, the timing was awful. I had a lot of health problems in that pregnancy because of my stress levels. They had me on a Holter monitor for my heart because it was acting all up, just crazy stuff. When I found out I was pregnant, I found out my mom's cancer diagnosis. So it was a very fast battle. So basically, like when you leave, I don't know if it's because she was just so close to me, but it literally halted everything that I thought I was about, just a little bit of a background. We came from a really, really poor family. I lived in a metal trailer, no electricity, no running water. We would heat these giant tubs on a wood stove for a bath, We had the food stamps. My school clothes consisted of a thrift store. It was not easy at all. And so growing up, I was a really, really strange child. My brother joked after I'd gotten into the medical field, he's like, I always thought you'd do business. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because you had like this little clipboard. And I did. I was like 7 years old, having this little clipboard. And I would like change the cat litter box for 5 cents, vacuum for 5 cents. And I would literally save my change and buy school clothes with it. I was just weird. And so fast forward and, I got straight A's and all my schooling. I went to 2 different colleges and became a radiology supervisor. So that was kind of my it thing for a career. I bounced that really fast. To this day, I've never seen such a young supervisor. So I was 23 years old and I had already been a lead tech, student coordinator. I worked in the cardiac cath lab, and then I was a radiology supervisor, supervising a group of like 15. And so it's kind of nuts, but I had a huge why. I had gotten pregnant during x-ray school. So I had a little girl, and yeah, mommy guilt to a T. I literally never saw her for like the first 2.5 years. So when I was offered the supervisor position, I just bounced to it. So it ended up being where instead of working every day, I would have 2 days off during the month for no call. I worked every day, to working 2 16s on the weekend. And even with that, it was rough, you guys. So when the economy shifted in 2009, 10, I have a really, really big heart and it gets me in trouble sometimes. So I was pregnant with baby number 2, and basically when my husband asked to take that paternity leave off, they fired him. We fought, he got unemployment and whatnot, but it was just not part of the plan, right? I had already had plans to stay on a longer leave. Well, I only got a 1.5 months off instead. It was harsh. At the same time, we took in multiple family members because they became homeless. So we had 20 people and only I was working. It was awful. And so I only read that in because a lot of people ask later, well, why were you so broke if you were a radiology supervisor and your husband also had a hospital job? That is why. So when the economy shifted, we made all these poor decisions combined with helping everyone. And it just kind of just ruined us. Literally on my credit, you can see it all happening all at once. So fast forward, and we could never catch up after that. So starting this business, we were $150,000 in debt. Ouch. And basically I lost my mom, and then like life just sucked. I was fighting with my husband constantly, and we're kind of weird in a weird way that we've been together since elementary school. So we were fighting though all the time, because unfortunately when you have financial problems, hello. And so we were fighting all the time. The kids got the brink of that. They were starting to fail school. I hated my life. Like, I never saw my husband. We had a few hours on a Monday night for family time. And after losing my mom, like, what I remember the most with her is just, she was a stay-at-home mom. It was our family dinners that we all got to just powwow and talk about our day. Or it was like our little driving trips that we would do, right? That was really all. I don't remember anything that she bought me or anything like that. It was the time. And it just struck near and dear to my heart that when I lost her, it was just like, I hated my life. We were so broke. And when I say broke, it's not paycheck to paycheck. It was way worse than that. I had already Googled how to file for bankruptcy. I knew how much fees it was, where to go file it at, the whole shebang. I had it all written down. I had already had my husband talk to his family to see if maybe we can move in with them. Like, we were making moves because we were just so bad. Collectors would call us. Oh my gosh, they are nasty. Like, they are not nice people, and they don't care what time you wake up and what time you go to bed. They're going to call anytime. And it got to the point where I wouldn't even answer my phone because it was just that bad. We took out payday loans on top of payday loans on top of payday loans. Like, we just could never pay them off. I'd go to the gas station with $3 in my bank account and intentionally go negative just to be able to drive, my kids to school. It was just bad. And it got so bad that, I would go into my middle child's room and count like the nickels and dimes to try to like have enough to pay for a chicken for dinner that night. There were often times I wouldn't even eat dinner, trying to save enough for my kids to eat. It was just really bad. PUD notices would always show up at the door. I mean, there's not just about a worse feeling than that, where you're like, oh my gosh, if I don't pay this, there's no heat in the house. I just didn't think I would ever get to that point after how I grew up, So it was time for change. At the same time, I hated the way I looked. I was always one with kind of lower self-esteem anyways. You add in 3 huge babies. The last one was a 10-pound baby. My husband's huge. He's a Pacific Islander, and so we don't do little. So here I am. My body did not bounce back. I still looked like I was 7 months along. It was embarrassing, and I was due to be in a wedding. I always separated professional and personal, but I was a bridesmaid for a coworker. So I was literally like not even sleeping. I was so like petrified of being in like the front, and so it was keeping me up. I'm like trying to think of something drastic to do with my body. And then that is when my friend talked about the business. Now, I will say, I didn't believe her. I was kind of a turd. And so she ended up saying, hey, follow this chick on Facebook. And that was the person I ended up enrolling with. And I will explain in a minute. I asked my husband. He was my biggest skeptic, you guys. So if you have a spouse that's kind of a butt to you, I get it. Mine was the worst. He like made fun of me, said, I believe everything. Miranda, you're so gullible, blah, blah, blah. Well, I did it anyways. I signed up 4th of July, 2015. We were not going to pay a cell phone bill. And then we were going to use that for fireworks. And then I used that money. So to say the least, I was not a favorite in the house when I got home. It was my first weekend back from maternity leave. So got home, everyone was mad at mom. And basically I got like a silent treatment. But there was just something in my heart where I had to try this. I had already sold everything that I could on Craigslist. I had already tried extreme couponing and whatnot, just not even worth my time and energy. I had no other options. I did not want to work more than what I was already working. I had nobody to watch the kids. At that same time, so here I have a newborn on my hands. I had my 2 other kids. I took in my niece that had been abused, and then I had 2 puppies. And my husband had 1 week off from work. And that's it. I'm just like, what in the world? There was nobody that's going to take care of my psycho household. So my friend mentioned the business. Well, that weekend that I got back, I signed up with that other person. The reason I did was because she had all this success, and I'm one where if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. I'm just going to go all in. And so I just ended up on a whim signing up with her and just kind of running from there. So I did not work until I got my kit. Don't do that. I got my kit, put on a wrap, made my husband, even though he was there. And then a few days later, put on the second one. And that's what I ran with. My results were insane. I have a lot of health problems, and I didn't know to the extent until this business, and then I kept track with things. But I have Hashimoto's of the thyroid, which is low thyroid. That by itself, if anyone has it, you know what I'm talking about. You cannot lose weight for the life of you. My adrenal glands don't work at all. I go up the stairs, I'm crying because my legs hurt so bad. Like I have a herniated disc in my back, like you name it. Like I have so many that it looks like an 80-year-old health history. So that is why my body didn't bounce back. But to have those kind of results with the wraps by itself, I ran. I talked to everyone and their mom. I had no clue that we even had more things. I made a lot of mistakes. I look back at my stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh. But we got Ruby in that first 2 weeks that I got my kit and got the $500 bonus that they had at the time. I signed up my husband, did the same thing. It took me a little while to get to Diamond because I literally had no idea what I was doing. I carried that Diamond team. Once I hit it, I dropped it, and I knew I was going to because I was carrying them. Completely revamped. I missed that first conference, and I knew I was going to go to that next one, and my plan was to restructure, hit conference with like a new kind of set of blood, you know? Hit conference, best decision of my life. I wish I would have done the first one because it put me back a year. I was a struggling Ruby that first conference. That same month, bounced to Emerald, Diamond. A few months later, hit double. A few months later, got boxed for triple. It took me a while to get because I had to redo a Diamond. Hit triple this last March, and then hit Prez this last month. So we've earned like close to $80,000 in bonuses now. 10 months in, retired the husband, so he's no longer a skeptic. It wasn't until I did it, though. Let me tell you, it's a crappy 10 months. And then I'm retired as a radiology supervisor now. I was done in April of this year. But you guys, it was crazy because of It Works. Like my kids were really badly bullied. My middle child had a concussion, a fractured back from a nasty bully. My daughter was told every day that she was ugly and to kill herself. She's gorgeous, by the way. Stinking girls. And it was just bad environment. I homeschooled them last year, and now they're in brand new schools this year. My daughter has a private school where we're paying $1,200 a month, which is just insane. Like, so our life is completely different. Stay-at-home parents, different schooling for the kids. We've gone on so many vacations, I've now lost track, but my favorite one was last summer. I had never been to anything. Small town, I had never gone anywhere. We've gone so many different states and whatnot. We won that cruise for the Bahamas that they had back in the day. And then this last summer, we went on a dream family vacation where we drove all the way from Seattle, Washington, all the way to San Diego, California, hit all sorts of like the redwoods and the beaches and everything. And then we hit Disneyland. So that was a huge one because it's expensive. And then we went to SeaWorld also. And it was just, to this day, they still talk about it. So going forward, we've paid off like a good at least third of our debt. My credit score has jumped 300 points. We're saving up to buy cash for our second car and a house in the future. My plan is to be completely debt-free this year. And it's just been nuts. Like, how is this my life? This paycheck that I just got was $23,000. I probably should put an income disclosure thingy, but who makes that kind of money? It was a $12,000 raise. That's just insane. I popped 3 different diamonds and a double diamond all in the same month because my husband popped as a double last month. So just to think, like you guys, I had 50 Facebook friends starting this, no Instagram. I'm one of the shyest people you will ever meet. I went through an extra grade in school. I was bullied myself. Like I was really like the mouse in the corner that you meet. Yeah, that would be me. And still to this day, if there's an event, you'll see me in the corner. I'm running. I don't normally do these, but I told myself after this last conference that my story can have power. Like anyone's testimony can have power, and it's selfish to hide it, you know, and it can really change lives. So I've told myself to get over it. So that is why I said yes, and I did not hesitate. So life is really awesome. And to meet Sideline Sisters, that was another thing. I didn't know anybody. So we were kind of doing our own thing. I had my own secret Facebook group with my team, but we just kept to ourselves because that's what we were taught. And so it wasn't until conference and I'm like, man, I'm missing a huge chunk of that community feel. And that is why I got put in the group chats and whatnot. And it's been the game changer. Last month, I get in my own head. That's probably my number one weakness is I really beat myself up in my head. I can pour everything into my team. It's myself. And so to have those sideline sisters where they were constantly, hey, you got this, prize is yours, like all of that. So I'm saying that on purpose because there's people in here that are probably shy like me, that hasn't really talked to many people, or you've not gotten an accountability partner yet. Find a good one, somebody that's like-minded, driven, that's not underneath you, kind of on the side. And it will make all of the difference because you guys, there's so many times I'm like, man, I really don't feel like talking to people. That's my heart. Like I'm an introvert. So talking to people and messaging, there are days I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. And so my accountability partner, hey, who did you talk to today? Because she knows me. I'm like, man, I didn't message yet. She's like, go message. So yes, accountability partners are fun. They don't always work out the way you plan, but there's some really good ones out there. So find one. So,
oh my gosh. Girl, your story is so inspiring. And I remember you saying in like one of our group chats, like, oh my God, I'm going to be freaking out. It's just hard for you to do Zooms like this and to you're just more on the shy side. So I so appreciate you doing this because you're so right. Your story is so powerful. You're so inspiring and people need to hear from you because it is just amazing. Like your story just blew me away right now. I did not know all of that other stuff. And okay, so one thing I'm just over here like completely mind blown the fact that you went Ruby in 2 weeks. And I love the fact that it's coming up right now because everybody on here has 2 weeks to go Ruby and get that $1,000 bonus and do that. And you had 50 Facebook friends. You were super shy. You didn't have an Instagram. So how did you go Ruby so dang quick?
I know, and that's with no parties either, mind you. I didn't do my first party until like a year in. I still don't really do parties. I've done a handful and that's it. It was really talking to everybody. I had it in my head and maybe it was naiveness. I don't even know, where I'm just like, everybody needs this. Like, why doesn't everybody know about it? Like everyone I talked to hadn't heard of the company yet. I mean, it started in the East Coast, and I'm West Coast. And so, I don't know. I just talked to I talked to my landlord. I talked to my postal guy. I talked to the store guy down the street. Like, I talked to everybody. I don't even remember what I said. Like, and I know that my beginning messages were horrid. They were like novels. It's just one of those things. Like, quitting was never an option. I got to go forward. I had already lost everything. Like my mom. So I had nothing to lose with this business but to go forward. And when you take quitting off the table, and I'm weird, like when somebody tells me I can't do something, especially like my husband, somebody close, I'm going to go prove them wrong. I'm stubborn like that. And so I love haters. And that's different because most people can't stand them. And I am a sensitive soul, so I had to gain a shell a little bit. But I also thrive off of it. So like you tell me I can't do something. Somebody told me I couldn't get presidential. So I'm like, I'm going to go show you wrong. And so it's just use that as fuel to go forward. As far as Ruby in 2 weeks, you talk to everybody. Like, don't ever like second guess that somebody, maybe they won't want it. Heck yeah, they want it. They might not need the wraps. Maybe they need the greens or something. But I think that we get in our head that our products are not good enough. Our products can change lives. Like, for instance, one of my leaders had cancer. She was one of the youngest in the world to get pancreatic cancer. She has one kidney. She was my customer for the cleanse. She got off of all of her kidney medications because of our cleanse. Our products are freaking amazing. They don't exist elsewhere. And you think about just the prescriptions alone that people are paying for things, you can save them thousands of dollars. I know I have teammates that have that much. That's why I mentioned it. So, don't ever be afraid to talk to people. We really get like caught up. Well, what if they say no? But what if they say yes? And you're gonna get no's no matter what. But I will tell you, so many people that told me no now have signed up. You're planting those seeds. So don't be afraid of that. But as far as Ruby, you want Ruby, if you really need the money, you're gonna figure it out. I don't suggest Netflix binging. It's probably not a good idea right now. I didn't watch any TV last month. I don't normally watch a ton because my kids are psycho, but normally I'll watch like a movie at night or something. I didn't watch none. So when it was like wind down time, when I normally would watch one, I was adding to my Facebook, and I was posting on my Instagram, which I don't normally work Instagram. I didn't allow that time. I needed 12,000 BV to start that month. That's insane. It's kind of puke worthy. And I'm not a strong LC enroller. I'm a DT enroller. And so it was really daunting. August 1st hit. I took 5 Confianza and had to like get over myself for a minute. And then I'm like, yeah, I can do this. Go back to basics, you know. I was never one to really do host to post. I started doing host to post. I had 25 up for the month, which really isn't that many compared to a lot of leaders. But you guys, I really maximized it. So everyone was my best friend. Okay. I told myself I was going to spoil everybody. When I did hair, skin, and nails for host to post. To me, it was easier. I don't have guys on my Facebook. That's just my personal rule. It was just less complicated. And however, when you do host to post, they have men on theirs. And I felt like all of my weight loss one, I would always have a guy hating. Like, well, if you only go to the gym and exercise. Like, so I just ended up doing hair, skin, and nails. And it was so easy because they never said anything. So hair, skin, and nails. And what I did is I learned to upsell for the first time in my life. And I'm going to share with you exactly what I was saying. And it totally worked. So once, let's say a lady is interested in hair, skin, and nails, she's good to go. She's ready. I shared her my before and after, shared my teammates, one that had cancer. She has crazy results. And then I have certain wording. And then when they're ready, I pretty much say this. I said, and I voice it. Just so you know, you doing this, you access my entire store where basically everything is half off. So I don't know if you need help with energy, losing weight or inches, you look great, better sleep or better nutrition, but I spoil the crap out of my customers and I will seriously throw in a bunch of fun freebies at the same time. They get excited. This is when the girls, hey, I've been trying to lose 10 pounds. Da, da, da. And it usually was always to a T, the losing weight, okay? And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to voice you what we have. If you have any light bulb moments, tell me, and I will create a super fun package where I'm even throwing in more freebies for you. So I'll literally just do little clips, and I give my little take on it. There's Fat Fighters. It's our cheapest weight loss thing we have. It's designed around the idea of cheat meals. My husband loves it because he can have his rice. He's a Pacific Islander, and he doesn't gain a pound. Now, if you have a gluten intolerance, you can't take it because it does have gluten. I say that because I am gluten intolerant. And then I just skip to the next one. And then they'll tell me, oh, Fat Fighters, keto coffee, keto energy, whatever, right? And I'm like, okay, well, give me a few minutes. I'm going to try to get this as cheap as I possibly can. They love hearing that, right? So then I look at what packages we have and whatnot, and I design whatever, and I will do a comparison between retail total, loyal customer total, and then I'll mix in, if they kept with those, how much for perk points. But I don't say perk points. I say I'm going to give you an in-store credit for X amount. And so it looks great when you're doing the comparison like that. And I hadn't asked for budget. That is something that I used to ask in the beginning, right? Now they're telling me budget. Oh, well, that's a little bit over. I'm like, well, what can you do? So then I'm still upselling. So maybe they had 8 things selected or something. Now it's 5. So I had orders that were 6+ things like all month. It was crazy. And this is somebody that barely even signs a 25 BV Fat Fighter order. So it was a game changer. That is what made up that difference. And then what I did was I got these off of Amazon. They're really cheap. And I just decided that whatever they didn't order, I'm going to send fun freebies right away. So I thanked them. I said, P.S. referrals are greatly appreciated. I spoil for them. I thank them. I said, your support is everything for my family. Because I feel like that's important. They forget, you're supporting a family, Walmart doesn't do that. They're billionaires. And then I send whatever they didn't order. I have a couple things over here. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, but our store has these t-shirts for really cheap. Like really cheap. They used to be like $25 a t-shirt because I remember seeing them. They are 20 t-shirts for $40. So it's $2 a t-shirt. So I bought a bunch knowing I was going to push that last month. And so what I did is the ones that were ordering more orders, I sent the t-shirt to Oh my gosh, they got so excited. They were posing in their t-shirt. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And so I'm retaining them at the same time. So you do all that hard work getting a good customer. This is the way to retain it. So I just wanted to weed that in because it was just a total like game changer all by itself. But learn to upsell. If you're going for Ruby and you learn and you do that upselling trick, dude, you got it. These orders were like 250 BB orders. They were nuts. So yeah, like they were nuts. And I never did that before. So, and then all month long I was doing like demos, like my ketones. I would be mixing them. I'm like, oh, it's just so great. I've lost 20 pounds now. Wait, I want to lose 20 pounds, So it was just catchy things like that. Facebook stories with the polls. If you're not doing them, please learn and do them immediately. I get more hits on my polls than anything else right now. And that's with distributor stuff and customer stuff. Who's looking to grow out their hair, or I'm looking for my last person for growing their hair out. And then your options don't give a no. It's a yes and a yes of some sort. Needed this 2 months ago, or sign me up or something, where it's 2 yeses. I had so many people voting on those puppies. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. I love your upselling points and just, voice messaging them. It's like way more personal and just trying to figure out what things. And I love the fact too, with loyal customer retention, I feel like so many people are so focused on actually signing a loyal customer, and then they forget you want to keep that customer. You put in all that hard work and all that follow-up to get that customer. Like, cherish them, like you said, and like treat them good and spoil the heck out of them. I love that you send out the thank you cards and stuff. That's such a good idea. So, okay. Another thing I wanted to ask you is like, okay, my gosh, you went Ruby in 2 weeks with all that stuff going on, but you also had 3 kids. You had just lost your mom. You had a crazy household, it sounds like, and you were working full time. So what did a typical day look like? I know you like talk to everybody and I'm sure you just worked this in wherever, but what did that look like when you went Ruby in 2 weeks with all that crazy stuff going on in your life? Like, how do you continually work this business with like the craziest schedule ever?
I will admit it was pure chaos. Cause I literally had no idea what I was doing. There was so much trial and error that I am just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. You know how Facebook memories pop up? I'm like, oh my gosh, those posts were terrible. And I think that I had a lot of green personality when I started. You need to throw out any idea of being perfect out the window. It's not going to happen. You're going to make so many mistakes, and you need to be gentle with yourself and know that there's how many billions of people in the world. You're good. There's another person out there. But really, it was pure chaos. A newborn by itself, you take away everything and just put a newborn, and it's psycho. Let alone how your body is when you're trying to recover from popping out a freaking 10-pound baby, okay? He got carried on my back a lot. So my beginning videos, you're seeing a baby Cade hopped on my back. I walked on the stroller. I walked him in the carrier. I had no time to recover. My husband was back to work within a week. And so my poor body was just so beat up. I took in my niece. So there was actually 4 kids. I took in my niece that had been abused too. And so I was dealing with crazy stuff with that by itself. My daughter, my son, 2 puppies. It was insane. It was insane. I don't even know, because I didn't even know how to post back then. So the one post took forever. But somewhere in there, honestly, I thank my husband, because he hated so bad. He really did. He hated so bad. He's like, you're on your phone again. Get off your phone. Why are you on your phone? Why don't you just give up? You're just wasting your time. Da, 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 da. And those auto shipments, you guys, they kicked our butt. We were so broke. But I just remember hearing in the beginning that if you don't have your auto shipment on, you're going to not be successful in this business. And that all the leaders had them on. So, it was bad. Okay. We sacrificed bills to put them on. Do I regret a thing? No, because then I had results from them, and that's how I signed so many people. So, no, it was chaotic. Do I recommend what I went through? No. But not everybody can avoid it, but it was one of those things I had to go forward. Quitting was not part of the plan. And I knew that if I didn't kick some butt quick, that everything was going to be done. It was just so bad at that time. And I didn't want to go back to have another job or anything,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so That's so amazing what you were able to accomplish in like such a short period of time. And now being presidential diamond, I'm sure along on your journey, you came into like different struggles that kind of like came in your business. So do you want to talk about maybe like a different struggle that you went through? Because I feel like, you know, one of the ones people always have is they don't know enough people or they didn't have enough time. And you obviously had those same things and moved past it and were killing it. What other things did you kind of go through in your business and how did you overcome them?
Honestly, one of the hardest things, and weirdly enough, is the comparison game. My self-esteem was just so low my whole life, really, that when you get into this business, like I was okay until I looked around. And that, like, seeing, so, I mean, I know that what you see on Facebook and Instagram isn't necessarily what is. I mean, there's a lot of filters and whatnot now, but I really, like, every time I halted in my business, the biggest was when I was comparing. We got put in this other group. My enroller put us in this giant group with this other top leader, and her team was like all these gorgeous looking models, you know. I'm like, what the freak? Like, I can't even like compare, you know, like, and so that was one of the biggest times I shut down personally. Like, I'm like, I can't even compare to that. And then it made me second guess myself as a leader, as a distributor. So don't compare. God made you the way he made you. There's only one of you. So it makes no sense to go compare because you're going to be your unique self. Honestly, like, thank goodness for Jade Hooper. She's one of the biggest reasons why I'm here. I've never really like done everything that she does. It was more just that she gave hope that you can be a freaking hot mess, a mom, have your kid pooping on the floor. Yes, she's had that. And just make it work. Like, what is she, like top 4 now? And yet she just embraces her being different and embraces her psycho life. And I just remember thinking, man, if she can do it, I can do it. And I just learned that my kooky, weird self, my shy self, my big old heart, somewhere along the way is going to work itself out, you know? And so don't compare, please. Your story is not going to match somebody else's. If somebody's ranking faster than you, so what? You know, the biggest thing you can do for yourself and your life is just look forward, concentrate, just do the best you can, right? Just don't give up. And self-development is a big deal. I don't know. I need to talk about it more. I feel like all the time, like if you're not growing up here, you're going to shut down. Your biggest moments for me, like my biggest moments, I can get out of a rut if I'm doing self-development and messaging. Honestly. If I'm having a low, well, when's the last time I messaged a bunch of people? When's the last time I watched something? Well, there's my answer right there. So the comparison thing really kicked my butt. And I don't know if you went to conference last year. I did. I was bawling. I felt like the cloak, like that heavy weight on my shoulders finally just got off me. Because that was really like I was holding myself back. I wasn't holding my team back. I can always pour into my team. I'm a lover. I will pour in sometimes too much. Like I don't have an off button and then I forget to take care of myself. But I really I just was in my own head the last 3 years until I hit conferences last year. And then it was just like, get over it, Miranda. Like only one person is going to change your life. Like no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to rank for you. No one's going to work your business for you. Like, and my babies, I look in there, they have the cutest brown eyes. Like, it's really simple. Like, are they worth it? Our answer as a parent should be yes, an instant yes. So then you need to get over it and just go. Like, and know that you're going to make mistakes along the way. For my team, I didn't know how to be a leader, you guys. Like, I really didn't. But I knew that if I just loved on my people as best as I can, that it'll somehow work itself out. And that's really why my team is so strong. We're a cool team. We're very, very, very close. And we live at complete opposite ends of the world. It's crazy. So, yeah.
I think that's so amazing. I'm so glad that you brought up the comparison thing because I think it's so easy to do that. I know I've fallen into that trap so many times. And what I love about this business and this company is like, you can look at people like Jade Hooper and like, there's so many different people with different backgrounds, different ages, different everything. And there's no one type of person that becomes successful with this business. It's anybody. And whether you have that as long as you have that drive, that passion, and you're willing to put in the work, literally anything is possible. And I'm so glad that you brought up the personal development thing too, because I don't think I would be where I am today without it, because I did think so negatively. I did always focus on like, you know, the things that were going wrong more than the things that were going right. And it's like the only reason you're not, you know, where you want to be is you're spending more time telling yourself you don't deserve it, or you're not worthy, or you can't have it, rather than telling yourself the exact opposite. And then, like you said, putting the work right behind it. It's like listening to that positivity and feeding your mind positive things every single day, and then putting the action behind it, behind messaging. You're like, every single time I'm in a funk, I'm like, I need to put something on. I'm going to put on the strangest secret, and I'm going to start messaging. And immediately it's like you feel good when you're feeding your mind with positive things, and then you to put the action behind it. So, oh my gosh, I just love that so much. I know I didn't want to take up too much of your time. You're so sweet for popping on here and doing this last minute, but do you have any like last tip that you want to give to all these people that, you know, are looking to promote this month, or whatever tip you want to share?
Number one, if you are on the brink of quitting or have kind of slowed down, and that is like a common trend during summers. Let's get real. Like a lot of people went on vacations, the kids were home, your schedule got all jacked up, you know, and it's like, crap, like I kind of let things slip, you know, that's kind of common, unfortunately. Don't feel like maybe you slipped so much you don't even know where to go now, right? Like you hit such a funk that it's like, crap, like I lost my momentum. Like, how do you get that back, you know? First off, if you have momentum, try to keep with it, because it is definitely a harder jump up. But don't feel like you've lost it anyways. But even if it's mid-month, don't feel like you can't do anything either. I would look at who you have underneath of you, message every single one of your distributors, see where they're at. Chances are they need money right now. A lot of people overspend during the summer. A lot of distributors, their paychecks are going down, and they're at the point, you know, they're trying to pay for the school clothes and you know, all that stuff. And it's like, crap, like I really need money. So I don't know if you've noticed, I noticed on my Facebook, a lot of people are looking for jobs right now. This is the time to be really signing for distributors. So first off, look at who you do have, message them, be transparent. You know, I think that we're afraid to say that we make mistakes. Well, we make mistakes. Like, hey, I slacked, I'm sorry. You know, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to go forward. This is my plan by conference. And then do you want to run with me? See who says yes, see who says no, put it on a piece of paper so you know, and then just be really strategic. You got 2 weeks left. You should pull out a chart that you're going for. If it's Ruby, maybe you got 2 people working. So, you know, you have 3 dead boxes. In a Ruby, you need 4 at the 400 club. So you might need maybe 800 BV or something. Well, divide that 800 into how many days you got left. You have a daily goal. In the midst of that, you should be looking for other distributors to kind of put in there. I don't know how you teach with your team. I teach stacking like nobody's business, because to me, most people aren't mass enrollers, you know, and so I'm not going to waste any BV. I stack, like, you know, and the idea is I've had so many that slacked in the beginning and then picked up speed later. And because I stacked like that, they were like, oh, you believe in me, I'm going to try now. It doesn't always work out that way. You will have duds, but I'm still using that BV up. So that's just my personal thing with that. But I break down my goals into like pieces. So if you're at the beginning of the month, I will see, okay, how many distributors I need, divide that number into 4, so my weekly goal.
Oh, can somebody mute themselves real quick? Trying to see who that is. Who is that? Who's not muted? It's not letting me mute her either.
Okay, I'll just keep talking.
Okay.
So every beginning of the month, I know how many distributors I need and how much volume roughly I need, because that's really difficult with my chart. And then I divide it into 4, so I know my weekly goal. And I do the same thing with my leaders. And it just is less daunting that way. I will say for July, I needed like 7,000 BV. And then August, I needed 12,000. So to have like, oh crap, I need more. Like I was like nervous, you guys. It's really one of those things. Like I just told myself every freaking day, I am presidential. And you need to do the same. You need to have it written on your mirror, written on your walls, like whatever you need to do, write it down and just believe it and go. I set myself up on purpose because I kept posting I was going to make X like rank this month, you know, and then I did the same thing with, I actually made a huge thing in that lifers group that we're in where it's triples and above, where I basically said, oh, I'm gunning for prez. And I did that on purpose because then I was held like accountable with myself. And so it was really freaky, you guys, I will tell you, but don't like put yourself where, oh, I can't do that. Like if there's any sliver of some sort of like, yeah, I can't get, you're not going to get it. There's no way. So throw that out the window, throw quitting out that as an option too. Any quitting, you think about it, like you joined this business for a reason. Quitting is not going to fix that reason. It only makes sense to go forward and change your life in some way. Some people don't want to be crazy like Miranda, but maybe you still need that $200 extra a month. It doesn't change anything. Would you rather work another job away from your family or actually do something with your business? So just keep going forward, you guys, and then get to conference. I know that it's like one of those things, man, it's too expensive. You guys, I get it. Like Seattle, Washington to Tampa Bay, Florida, that is a freaking trip. Bunk up with people in your room to save money. Go to a grocery store ahead of time to get like sandwich makings or whatnot. My first time, man, I was like eating French fries. Like I didn't have much money, you guys. But it is a game changer. And then bring any of your team with you because you are guaranteed to look at each other. Let's do this. And your paychecks will skyrocket. I literally have a chart because I'm really nerdy where I showed my graph with my like volumes and you can see it exactly when I hit to conference because it's like this and then I went blink and it's like right there, that's conference. And that is literally to a T. Like I've ranked every single time I've gotten, you know, like multiple ranks. Like it's a game changer. So if you have not planned it, you have time, please plan it. Then come meet me and give me a hug because I like hugs. And then just keep going forward. Don't think anything is impossible. Lock arms with your leader. I feel like we don't communicate with that. I'll have downline distributors. I don't know what they really are going for, and I can't help if I don't know. So if you're not communicating, talk to them. You know, they might have advice. They might have one-on-one tips, whatever. But if they don't know, they can't help. So, and don't be afraid to have a party. My first one was pretty amazing. So I waited a whole year and then I don't even know how I got these people over. I think I made a Facebook post. Hey, whoever brings the most people, I'll give you a free wrap. One person responded. It was distant relatives to my husband. You guys, I sweated through my shirt. Like I don't do people. And I don't even remember what I said. But I did a fat fighter demo and had them taste the greens. And the other two ladies bought a wrap off me, so I made $50 wrap cat. I thought I was good. I'm like, oh, they're not going to buy anything. But I just kept going. Don't remember what I said. They all ended up ordering 5 to 6 things each, and they kept that auto shipment on. That was a 600 BV 2-hour thing. And you guys, I messed up. Like, I did not do a very good job. But, like, when anything in person is going to go faster. So have a nice barbecue or something. You know, if for those that drink a little bit, have some mimosas or wine if that's what you're into, because they're going to be a little bit more prone to ordering. Have fun with it. I had a friend that went Ruby in a night, and all she it was when we had the cruise going on, and she realized I was going, and she's like, "Wait, I want to go!" And so she had everyone come over. It was just pure chaos, you guys. But that goes to show you. It doesn't matter how you work the business, but know that if you are calling people, if you have people over, you're going to sign more. There's nothing that replaces that energy that you get in a room. It just, right? And then they're tasting it. And then just, you hand them a catalog in the beginning, give them a pen as you're going through things, tell them to circle what they would be interested in, and then maybe make a star on somebody they would know. And at the end, how many stars do they have? If it's 5+, hello, be a distributor. We have a shopping spree for $150 right now, right? For them circling, maybe they just want to be a customer. Then you mentioned the loyal customer like program thing where they would get all those cheaper prices. And then you don't really give a choice. Do you want to try it and sign up, or do you want to try it and make money at the same time? Boom.
I I love parties. Like, that is how I felt when I first started. I didn't know any different, and that's the way the girl enrolled me. You know, my friend Shauna that enrolled me, that's just, we did parties. And I mean, it got me to Double Diamond in 5 months. So they definitely work. If there's, like, you're so right, there's nothing like being in front of people and then being able to taste everything and them seeing your excitement. It doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing. I had no idea what I was doing. I probably messed up a bajillion times, but they got to see the products. They knew that I was excited. They saw results by the end of the party, and they wanted everything that I had. And it was always bigger BV orders without having to convince anybody of buying anything. They wanted it because they tried it and saw it. So I love parties.
I was opposite. It was always social media. And so it was very much, and to this day, it's mainly social media, but I got to a point in my business where I felt like I was doing a disservice for my distributors because I hadn't done parties.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to get to the point where not only could I run one, I was comfortable with it. So I've done probably like 15 or so. It's not my jam, but now I feel comfortable enough where I could whip one out. So, yeah, just know you're going to do more work on social media. There's more tedious stuff. I look at it. I did an entire degree online, and an in-person class and an online class are two different things. A 5-minute conversation in class, you're going to take 2 hours to type that puppy up. And it's very much like this. We have homework, we have tests, but if you're going to do anything online, it's going to take you a hot minute. So you're posting, you're messaging, you're interacting, you know, the whole shebang, right? Sorry, I got a message. So yeah, but if you're trying to go really fast and you're kind of like nowhere right now, then have a party. Like, I'm sure Jennifer would FaceTime in for you guys and just like help seal the deal. We have brand new videos that they came out with, and I really like them. I'm really picky. There's the new distributor one, and I don't know if that's accessible on eSuite, but I love it. It's so awesome, where it's showing like stories and stuff, and it's really emotional. Yeah, I love it. Love it. So don't be afraid to party. Make it simple. If you want to do coffee dates with somebody, just don't be afraid to do that. You're setting yourself back if you haven't even tried one.
Oh, you're just so amazing. It's so right. Okay, so all the late nights, all the early mornings, all the chaotic bit like working your business, all like the craziness that have gone on, you now got your first $23,000 paycheck. Was all of that worth it?
Oh, heck yeah. Like, heck yeah. And I'm not one to stop. Like, I've had people like, I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to stop, but I'm just a go-getter. And I got really bored in my other career. You can only take like x-rays. It's the same picture, you guys. It's the same dang picture every single time. And it was so tedious. And I already hit the highest rank that I could hit in that stuff. And it's like, I was so bored out of my mind. So this business is so perfect because I can just keep going. And it was definitely worth it, you guys. Like, I make way more doing this now than my freaking career. I made $50 an hour doing that. And then I was taxed a lot and whatnot. But it was not a good environment to work with. It was toxic to my soul. Like, I was really miserable at work. I had some really crazy people I worked with. I'm not kidding. I had been chased down the parking lot one time by one of them. Like, it was just like, it was toxic, you guys. And then it was just, I don't know. We had a psychiatric ward, and that got really scary. You know, like, I had it where I was x-raying a person and they had a needle in their bed and I was this close to getting hooked, you know, and it's things like that was always at jeopardy. And it was just, I don't know, I was done, you know, and to have a backup plan, I'm my own boss. Like, it doesn't get as good as this, you know, no limit on income, a business, you know, that's not going to go bankrupt or something crazy with just big hearts. Like, you don't get better than this. So just keep doing your thing. You know that people have been successful. So don't put a limit that you don't think that you can be successful. Like, just keep going. And I say this on purpose because I had a leader that was really slow. Even if you rank once a year, you're an ambassador in friggin' 8 years making 35 grand. You're never going to make that in a traditional job, period. And I say that because I had somebody that was not even an executive year one. Like, she was just not nothing. And then all of a sudden life happened and she's like, okay, I'm ready to work. And she's boxed for triple diamond right now. So just keep going. Don't allow, you know, quitting as an option. Use your products. There's using your stuff, and then there's using your stuff, okay? You're setting yourself back. You go to a tanning salon, what's the first thing you look at? You're looking at their color. Do they look like a Dorito? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be looked at with whatever you're selling, you know? I'm not to my goal. My body hates me, quite honestly. Like, I have a lot of immune problems, but I at least have lost 20 pounds. I have results with just about everything we've got. And it's so easy talking with somebody. So, I mean, let that be part of your business, you know, that it's all a tax write-off anyways, you know? So have fun with our stuff and actually use your stuff, and you will see that you will sign customers. Boom, 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 boom.
So true. Oh my gosh, girl. Thank you so much for hopping on here and doing this. You're just so amazing. You have no idea how many people you just inspired with your story tonight. And we so appreciate you taking the time out of your busy, busy schedule and your chaotic life to pour into us tonight.
I'm just quiet right now, just to be honest. My husband is not home, so I've got my 9-year-old watching my 3-year-old. And he's quiet. So, but I did bribe him. But if you guys have questions, feel free to ask Jennifer, and I don't mind like answering them and sending them back to her or whatever. So, thank you for having me. I'll have to steal you for one of mine.
Anytime. And congratulations again on your promotion. Like, that is just so incredible. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Bye, girl.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. She's so amazing.